Don't miss.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Bigger, better, stronger. And before we get started, let me just tell you I keep saying this, but I'm going to say it once again. If you truly want beautiful, magical, fantastic, bright, lovely skin, such as mine, and proof is in the pudding, isn't it? I've been sharing the secret with you 24/7, 365. You guys should be doing this. People are going to come along on social media, sell you products. You need this face call, you need to do this ritual, and then your skin will be clear. Let me tell you, you don't need that. What you truly need is a magic potion that I carry with me 24/7, 365. And you already know what it is. Water. Oh my God. Water. Stay hydrated 24/7, 365. Now, we're going to get into this video. Most disturbing camping encounters caught on camera. And before we get started, let me just tell you that I am an extremely skeptical individual. I'm always on the back foot trying to analyze the whole situation before making any judgment. So I may be a party pooper sometimes because I hardly believe these things because some of them could be fabricated. And the fact that some of them could be fabricated, in my head, I think all of them are fabricated. But for the purpose of the video, we're just going to react. I'm going to take a step back and I'm not going to be a party pooper. So let's go.
In April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason uploaded a video to his channel, Appy Mountain Trekkers, in which he recorded footage of his solo overnight trip to the mountains. His channel is dedicated to all things outdoors, in which Jason frequently uploads videos of his adventures hiking, camping, and surviving in the woods. In this particular video, his hike up to the mountain is pretty uneventful, and as soon as he arrives at the campsite,
Listen, first and foremost, before we carry on, let me just say that people of my skin color, we hardly do this because we know some things can happen. Weird things caught on camera. Something is going to happen, especially in the dark, so we don't do this. You know what kind of people do these things. So if something happened, I'm glad that I'm not there. Things are always bound to happen.
in setting up his tent and shows his viewers how he starts a fire as the sun begins to set. As he waits for the day to end, he tries his luck at spoon carving, and this is when he reports hearing a strange sound coming from the top of one of the mountains, but he writes it off as a bird or some other small animal and continues setting up for the night. At about 9 o'clock, he turns his camera off to go to bed, but less than an hour later, he wakes up to a strange sound that he says he's never heard before in his life.
Can you imagine? You have a home, you have your comfort, you have your bed. Your wife probably cooks for you. She makes the best dinner, the best whatever you can think of. But you decide that I'm going to go camping. I'm going to eat whatever I find there. I'm going to sleep in the dark, on the floor, hard, because I want to explore. I don't know. That to me seems kind of extreme. And the only extreme sport that I'm willing to practice, I'm not going to share it here, but once again, I'm rambling a little bit too much. Sorry. I am absolutely sorry. Let's just let the video play.
It sounded like some sort of guttural animal call, but because it came from pretty far away, he couldn't identify what it was.
I'm still rattled. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It sounded like a mix between almost like a pig, some kind of, I hate to even say it, but a pig, an ape, and the calls almost sounded like how the velociraptors
That is a wild mixture.
communicate with each other on Jurassic Park. I've never heard anything like that in my life.
Okay. One more interruption. The moment we hear things like that, and by we I say people of my skin tone, my skin color, the moment we hear something like that, we are straight away either talking to the ancestors, apologizing to God, calling the priest. It's a whole exorcism that's going to happen. We do not play or engage in such, but this individual is so calm. I truly wish I could be as calm as he is in that environment. I don't know if I would be able to, but listen, let's not get things twisted. I am a total badass, cool as a cucumber. I probably would have managed to react in the same manner that he is, but I don't know. As I said, I'm skeptical.
Still shaken after the rude awakening, he tries to go back to bed, but just a few hours later at around 1 a.m., he wakes up again to what he describes as the sound of something or someone circling his tent.
Whatever it is, it's close.
Hell no, boy.
You hear that? Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started on the other side of my camp, went around my perimeter.
If you look closely at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see the reflection of what appears to be 1 or 2 sets of eyes as he pans his flashlight over them. Although there are many animals with eyes that reflect light at night, based on the fiery white color of the reflection, it's very likely that Jason was being observed by wolves or coyotes. Dog's eyes will also give off a white reflection, but considering that it was around 1 a.m. when this happened, it's unlikely that a dog would be walking around in the mountains so close to his campsite. Coyote and wolf attacks on humans are rare, as both species tend to avoid human contact, but they can still become very aggressive if they feel threatened, especially if they have pups nearby. If this were the case, Jason would be in grave danger, but chillingly, he doesn't even seem to notice the eyes watching him as he scans the area with his flashlight.
Well, let me just say this. The moment I hear something outside, I am not stepping outside. Well, listen, as a man, I would have to step outside, but just going off of what I'm seeing right here, right now, I'm not stepping outside. I'm staying inside until morning comes, and then I'll decide to go and explore. In the tent, I'll probably be thinking to myself, let's rationalize, let's not get scared. Could probably just be footsteps. Someone's walking by. They're looking for something. And then my brain would be like, yeah, at 3 a.m. And, of course, I'd scare myself to death because then that's the devil's hour and I wouldn't know what to do. I probably would have fainted. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Seeing those eyes sent goosebumps. Enough with the rambling. Let's continue.
Luckily, he went back to his tent and slept safely through the night. When he woke up the next morning, he recorded another update for his viewers, but he never mentioned the eyes that his camera had captured the night before, suggesting he might have never noticed. After this video, there were no additional updates on the incident. In 2021, YouTuber Matt Fields spent the night in a dark cave in the middle of nowhere in Australia after his friend told him about an unsettling experience he had in that cave and dared him to spend the night there alone. Matt's channel is a bit more extreme than other outdoor exploration channels, and his videos often feature him leaving civilization behind and going to remote locations for days, living only off the fish he catches and the animals he...
Let me just say something. Listen, times evolve, right? There are certain ways that you lived back then that is not adequate for living now. But for some reason, there's a group of individuals that decide, no, I'm going to go back in time. I'm going to go to the absolute middle of nowhere and live as our ancestors lived. For some reason, that causes their blood to boil. It's an adventure. I don't know why they would do that. I understand. I think I know why, because I have that adventurous spirit as well. But all alone, I do not know about that one.
Once. In the video, he mentions that he didn't bring any water to the trip, hoping to find water to drink in the cave. After about 4 hours of walking, he finally finds the cave and climbs down the man-made ladder inside. Venturing deeper inside the cave, Matt crawls into the different holes he finds to see if any of them lead anywhere. Around this time, he started hearing a couple of rocks falling near the entrance and the sound of some sort of animal walking around. At one point in the video, he mentions he feels like he's being watched, and things get a little more disturbing at around 11 p.m. when he begins to eat his baked beans for dinner.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
That is beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my...
No. 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 Damn. No.
That was the sound.
No.
That is the sound. Did you hear that? Look at my arms.
Yeah,
I
look
got
at mine.
full
Look
goosebumps.
at mine.
It's the chains moving when I climb down the ladder. It's a big, heavy, thick chain. Wind can't move that.
Somebody about to choke you out, boy.
Holy...
When Matt recorded this video, it wasn't a windy night at all, and the fact that the chain is moving can only mean that there's someone or something down there with him.
That chain moved just then. It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that I walked in, that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving. Now, you can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no wind even
Nah! Woo! Hell, okay, listen. As I said in the beginning, I'm a skeptical individual. So my rational mind is telling me, listen, someone is also coming down the hole that you came from, and he's using the chain. That's what's happening. But that doesn't sound like someone that's coming down the hole. That sounds like someone's dragging the chain. So, woo! Damn.
Oh God. Look. You must have heard that just then. Look at my arms, dude.
Look at mine.
Oh, this is fucked. Okay. Well, I've got my backpack back on, and I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound, and I'm scared.
Get out.
I'm not gonna lie.
Out.
It's probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I checked in with you guys, so it would be around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that sound was not normal. I'm getting out of here.
After the creepy noises subside, he changes his mind about leaving the cave and decides to spend the rest of the night near the entrance. A couple of hours later, he reported hearing hissing sounds that sounded like human voices, but after walking around the cave, he couldn't find anything that could be making those noises. Aside from big animals, the worst thing that could have happened to Matt is to have come across a hostile squatter living in the cave, although it's unclear why anyone would want to live down there. Fortunately, he made his way out of the cave safely as soon as the sun rose, and never went back to that cave again. Roadie is a channel dedicated to off-the-grid living, in which the uploader usually posts videos about what life is like living out of his truck and traveling around the country. The videos are usually...
Out of everyone that we've seen so far, this is the safest. At least he's got a car. Anything happens, gets in that baby and whew, completely gone.
Pretty cool, with an emphasis on the beauty of nature and independent living. But this particular video is a bit more disturbing than the rest. In December 2017, Roadie uploaded footage of an incident that took place earlier that year while he was car camping in a parking lot. At around 1:30 a.m., a hooded man started walking around his truck and taking pictures of his license plates. Because the back of the truck where the uploader was sleeping was pretty much pitch black, the man probably didn't see anyone in there and continued to suspiciously walk around the truck for several minutes, unaware that he was being recorded. After a while, the man makes his way to the side of the truck and tries to shine the flashlight inside, which is when the uploader decides to take action to protect himself and let the man know he's there. Immediately after the uploader bangs his fist on the inside of the truck, the suspicious man runs away.
Listen, this isn't so bad. One-on-one, I'm getting out of that car and, imposing my masculinity and telling him, listen, you need to get out of here. This is my car. I don't know what you're taking pictures for. I'm about to beat you up, so get out of here. This is the least scary out of everything that we've watched so far.
It's unclear what exactly he planned to do, but based on his behavior, it couldn't have been anything good, and he was probably planning a carjacking. Fortunately, the uploader was able to get away safely and spend the night elsewhere. Gary and Amica are a father-daughter duo from Scotland who make videos about their travels around Europe in their camper van. The videos are usually pretty wholesome and entertaining, but in this particular video, Gary and Amica had a pretty
about this. Okay, they got a van. Once again, at least it is a little bit safer than everything else that we've watched so far. But bringing the kids into it, listen, it could be a great adventure, one for the books. But if things go south and something were to happen, imagine how much blame you'd put on yourself for putting your kid in such conditions. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun here. Let's just continue.
Disturbing encounter. This footage was uploaded in March of 2023 during a trip to Tensmuir Forest in North Fife, Scotland. As they were walking through the woods, Amica told her dad she heard voices somewhere near them, and after searching for a while, this is what they found.
We just stopped and had a look in these woods. Look at how scary that is. Put the torch on. He's even one on the ladders.
Yo.
Oh, there's someone.
Yo.
Falling over. Look at the one on the ladders going up the tree.
Oh yeah, that's
What about the washing line over there to the left? Yeah, there. Keep it there. That is weird, isn't it?
one over there that isn't actually a person.
I love it how the reactions are different. You know, when it's a white individual, it's adventurous. There's some sense of curiosity that is sparked. If it were an African family, we're speaking in tongues, boy. Listen, do not forget, you got to drink your water 24/7, 365. At least 2 liters a day. Then you'll be good. Proof is in the pudding, baby. Fantastic, beautiful, magical.
In addition to dozens of creepy mannequins dressed up in costumes, they came across some pretty unsettling paintings hanging outside the little cabin in the middle of the woods. I did some research and found several other channels that featured the strange cabin, but the only information I could find was that the mannequins and paintings were probably set up there at some point in 2021. It's unknown what exactly the purpose of all this is, but whoever set it up clearly went through a lot of trouble to make it as creepy as possible. As Gary and Amica make their way out of the woods, a car starts to approach them from the other side, and Gary starts to get a little freaked out. Fortunately, they were able to make it back to the van without having to cross the car's path.
As I'm saying, imagine something were to happen to you and your daughter. Imagine the guilt that you would have to carry for the rest of your life for having her there, first and foremost. She's not even grown. So many things could go wrong. And listen, I'm not saying that this is bad parenting. I'm just saying there are certainly other possibilities of things going wrong. So we need to analyze everything before taking our kids out. You feel me? It's probably good, not probably. It is the best thing for a father to be present with their child and build memories. But certain things need to be analyzed before executing.
As of this video's upload, there have been no further updates on the creepy discovery. In 2018, a YouTuber named John uploaded this video to his channel Lost Lakes, in which he posts about his backcountry camping adventures in Canada. The video was taken at around 3:30 a.m. at a remote location west of Chapleau, Ontario, where, according to John, there was no cell phone signal.
Well, I am living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kind pacing around my tent. It's the middle of the night. And then around 3:30, I started to hear this pacing sound. And 45 minutes later, it's still pacing around out there.
Considering he was camping in a remote location in the black bear capital of the world, it's very likely that there was a bear or some other large animal outside the tent.
I can't make this up. Why would you leave the comfort of your home to go to a remote location where there could be a possibility of a bear mauling you? The moment I heard that, I'll probably just switch off the damn light in the tent and just keep quiet. Not do a thing. Not even to scare the animal. I'm just staying in my corner. I'm praying in tongues and waiting until the morning. Get out of that tent, pack up, and bounce. Leave.
Although it's rare for bears to attack campers, it has been known to happen. Other animals such as moose or wildcats can also pose a threat to campers if they ever feel threatened or provoked, and in those cases, a feeble camping tent won't offer.
But before we do carry on, listen. As a man, I truly feel that I could take on a bear and a lion, not at the same time. So me talking all of that, saying that I'm going to pray in tongues and whatever, I'm just kidding. This is just for reaction purposes. Deep down, the true masculinity, the true masculine man, the warrior deep down within me would have came out, and I probably would have gone and wrestled that bear. Probably would have called Khabib in the middle of it for him to give me some tactics. I probably would have wrestled that bear down, grab it by the neck and choke it out. Just saying. Don't mind the reactions because I'm powerful.
A lot of protection against an angry 600-pound animal. It's much more common for people to be harassed by other people than by animals, but in this case, the footsteps don't sound very human. To maintain sanity, John shows his viewers the things he brought along on his camping trip to protect himself against animals, which include a hatchet, bear spray, and an air horn.
Okay.
Near the end of the video, he mentions his car is right outside the tent, but he can't find his key and probably left it in the car. But in the end, he slept through the night safely. He never found out what exactly was walking around his tent that night. Most campers will say they're more afraid of running into ill-intentioned people rather than aggressive animals on their camping trips, and this footage is the perfect example of why. Love Sundays is a channel run by a man named Sean who uploads videos of his solo camping adventures in the UK. In a video he uploaded in September 2022, he shows what happened one night when he camped on the side of the road in Cornwall. Technically, he wasn't supposed to be camping there due to parking regulations, so he made every effort possible to make it seem less obvious that he would be spending the night on the side of the road. Before the sun sets, he goes into his van and starts making dinner, making as little noise as possible to avoid unwanted attention. At around 9 p.m., he turns off the lights and goes to bed. Everything seems to be going just fine, but at around 2 a.m., Sean's night takes a pretty unsettling turn.
I just heard something outside. Okay, I think they've gone. They literally tried to get in the van. It wasn't just a knocking, they were trying the handle.
It's not uncommon for solo campers to be asked to move somewhere else in the middle of the night, especially when you're parked somewhere where you're not supposed to be. But in this case, it's highly unlikely that this was a police officer or some other person with the authority to tell him to move, as in these cases, they would almost always knock first and announce themselves verbally. Once they have your attention, they'll ask you to leave, but they won't just walk up to a van on the side of the road and start trying the door handle without announcing their intentions. It's much more likely that someone was trying to break into Sean's van. Luckily, whoever was trying to break in left after only a few seconds, and Sean wasn't bothered by them again. These kinds of encounters can be extremely disturbing, but luckily Sean woke up the next morning unharmed and was on his way to his next destination shortly after.
That was interesting. That was interesting. I'm trying to think to myself, would I rather have a bear stalking me or an ill-intentioned individual? I know, of course, I can wrestle the bear, so I think that's a safer option, truly. But anyways, thanks for staying with me through this reaction. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, the whole nine, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, hey, Tony Franco, it's a wave.